Good morning. Today we're going to continue on with graphing quadratic functions in standard form. In the last video, we talked about how to find the axis of symmetry in Vertex. We're going to use that to continue on and actually sketch a graph. So the first two steps are what we did in the last lesson. So find the vertex, the axis of symmetry by doing the opposite of b over 2a, and then plug that in to find the y value of the vertex. After that, we're going to create a table like we did when they were in vertex form, and then plot the points and reflect them across the axis of symmetry. So once we have the axis of symmetry in vertex, the process is very similar to graphing in vertex. Okay, so here we go. We are going to go ahead and label A, B, and C like we did in the last lesson. I'm going to change my color here so it doesn't match with my typing. We're going to start by doing the opposite of B over 2a, which is 1. So 6 over 2 times 1. So 6 divided by 2 gives us 3. Now, what I would do is actually go ahead and sketch the axis of symmetry right away. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go ahead and plug that into the equation to find our vertex. So we're going to do, remember the parentheses around your number you're plugging in, 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 13. So I get 9 minus 18 plus 13. Just checking my math today, equals 4. So our vertex is at the point 3, 4. So over 3 on our axis of symmetry, up 4, putting a point there. Now, if you think back to the last type of graphing we did, we started with our vertex and then we took 2 steps to the right. So if we're counting in order, after 3 comes 4 and after 4 comes 5. We're going to go ahead and plug those in like we did up here to see what we get then for, do the different color, for our other ordered pairs. So we're going to do 4 squared minus 6 times 4 plus 13. And we're also going to do 5 squared minus 6 times 5 plus 13 and see what we get. So 16 minus 24 plus 13 gives me 5. So I have the point 4, 5 here. And then 25 minus 30 plus 13 gives me 8. So I'm going to go, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, and over 1. And then the very last step is to reflect these across the axis of symmetry because that axis is just like a mirror. So they should match on both sides. And then you can go ahead and draw your parabola. Hopefully yours is a little bit more smooth than that one. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, again, starting out by finding our axis of symmetry. So my A is -1, my B is -2, my C is -4. So x equals the opposite of B over 2 times A. So I end up getting 2 divided by -2, which is -1. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my axis of symmetry in here at -1. And then I'm going to go ahead and find my vertex. So I'm going to plug -1 in for my x's. Again, the parentheses are extremely important. Excuse me. So we end up getting -1 plus 2 minus 4, which gives us -3. So our vertex is at the point -1, -3. Now I know we typically don't count with negatives, so the next step over to the right from -1 is 0, and then after 0 is +1. So let's go ahead and plug those in. We're going to do -0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 4, which gives us -4. And then we're going to do -1 squared, make sure that negative isn't in parentheses, times -2 times 1 minus 4. So I get -1 minus 2 minus 4, which is -7. So we're going to go ahead and plot those points. I have 0, -4, and 1, -7, so 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then we're going to reflect those. So reflect it over to the other side and go from there. And there's your graph. So if you are okay with finding the axis of symmetry and the vertex like we did in the last lesson, these aren't too bad. There are 2 problems for you to try here. When you're ready, come back and check your answers, but go ahead and hit pause while you go through it. Okay, go ahead and check your graph. I didn't actually show the work here, so if you have questions on how I got this, make sure you speak up and I'll go through it. But your first graph looks like this. Your vertex is at -3, 3, and it opens up from there. The last 2 points were at 11, so they were off the graph a little bit. And then the next one, your vertex is at 3, -4, and then the last 2 points were way off the graph there, so I just kind of approximated with the graph of the points that I was able to find. Again, if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, have a great day and have fun graphing